Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to show you the difference between bead crochet rope done in a spiral and bead crochet rope done with a turning chain. These two techniques create distinct looks and have different applications, so let's dive in. If you are one of my followers, you will know that crocheting with beads is a technique where beads are incorporated into crochet stitches to create beautiful, intricate patterns. It's a popular method for making jewelry, such as bracelets and necklaces. But with this technique you can also make, for example, purses, Christmas decorations and other items. So if you are interested in these things, check out my channel, you will find a lot of tutorials there. I drew this simple stripe pattern to show the difference. Here I've drawn each row in different color and there are 12 beads per row. The width is 12 beads, however it doesn't really matter, the width doesn't really matter. And when you draw a nice stripe pattern like this, you kind of assume that if you crochet it, you will have a nice striped bead crochet rope. But that's a mistake. The JBead software that it's drawn in automatically assumes that you are going to crochet in a classic spiral. So here in the second column, it simulates what it's actually going to look like in reality. The software you draw patterns, it doesn't even allow you to choose if you want to do it with a turning chain. So you are always gonna see how it looks in a spiral. Here you can see it in reality on a bead crochet rope. This is where I started crocheting, and because I crochet in a spiral, this is where the shift occurs. Think of it as this toy spiral. This is how you crochet in a classic spiral. I will show you in practice. Here I have a bead crochet row in progress and I simply crochet on and on in the same way, there is no change. One loop after another until I reach the end of the desired length of the product. I use a single crochet, but it doesn't matter if I use slip stitch or single crochet, the principle of crocheting in a spiral is still the same. Spiral bead crochet rope is created by crocheting continuously in a spiral without stopping at the end of each row. On the other hand, bead crochet ropes with a turning chain involves ending each row with a turning chain and then starting a new row. We don't work in spiral, but finish each row separately and use the turning chain to go up one row. Again, I borrowed my children's toy to demonstrate. Here, this represents one row. It's a closed single row that joins at one point where it has a beginning and an end. And this is how I stack the rows. Again, I will show you what it looks like in practice. I used the same pattern and crocheted a piece of bead crochet rope. And as you can see, there is no shift in the pattern like there was in the first example. This is the first one. Each of the rows looks like a closed circle. I will show you how it's done in practice. So I'm crocheting a perfectly standard single crochet, no change here. And the only change is when you crochet the last bead in the row. To the loop, slide a bead down, yarn over, pull through and stop. Now insert the hook to the loop of the first bead in a row and pull through all 3 loops on the hook and add one more chain stitch. This is how we made a turning chain, and we can continue crocheting the next row. Now put the hook to the same loop as we did the turning chain in and continue crocheting classic single crochet. I will show it again at the end of the next row. So to the last loop, slide a bead down, yarn over, pull through one loop and stop. Now insert the hook to the loop of the first bead in a row and pull through all 3 loops on the hook and add one more chain stitch. And this is how we closed another row. If you have a problem with the turning chain being visible because there's just a bit of more thread in that spot, it's a good idea to use a slightly thinner thread. In general, most bead crochet ropes are crocheted in a spiral. So if you find a pattern on the internet for a bead crochet rope, 99% of the time it will be crocheted in a spiral. Ropes with a turning chain are a minority. It's kind of complicated, so I will explain it in detail in one of the next videos. But it's different with balls, eggs, purses and other products. There would say that the turning chain is more dominant, but it's not in all cases. So either it's directly written in the pattern, or you have to see it for yourself from the way the pattern looks, how it connects on the left and right side. And I will explain that in future videos too, so be sure to follow me. If you found this video helpful, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Happy crocheting, and I will see you in the next video.